Hello everyone. Today's topic is Western blotting. This is the technique by which we can separate or identify a specific type of protein from a protein mixture. Let's see what is Saturn blotting techniques and what are the steps involved in the Saturn blotting technique. It is first introduced by Tauin et al. In 1979 and it is now a routine technique for a protein analysis. Basically what happens, in short we can say, by these techniques the transfer of sample proteins from a gel to a membrane and their subsequent detection from a protein mixture on a surface of the membrane. So basically what happens, we can introduce a sample protein into a gel and through this gel we can transfer it into a membrane. In this membrane we can identify the proteins or sample protein. This technique is also called immunoblotting as because the antibody is used to specifically detect its antigen. Here the terms antibody and antigens is also related to the immunity. That's why this technique also called immunoblotting. Let's see what are the steps involved in this Western blotting. First of all, that is mixing with a detergents. Here protein get unfolded into a liner chain. That means with the help of some detergents, that is sodium doctyl sulfate or SDS, with help of this detergents we can unfold the proteins or unfold the DNA structures in a liner chains. Most of time the DNA structures are folded. So to process these techniques we need to unfold them. That's why these detergents help to unfold the chain. Next steps, that is gel electrophoresis. By this gel electrophoresis, protein molecules are separated mainly according to their size. That means we can separate a small structural protein from a larger one by the help of gel electrophoresis, right? Next, the following precipitations, the proteins are moved from the gel onto a blotting films or blotting membrane. Generally, those blotting membranes are made up of nitrocellulose or polyvinyl iodine difluorides, that is PVDF membrane. Why we use this types of membrane? As because it have a good tensile strength, that means it do not break easily, and next one, it has the affinity of DNA or protein. That's why we can use this membranes or nitrocellulose membrane, or you can say PVDF membrane. As you can see in this picture, first steps is sample preparation. That means the double folded or folded types proteins converted into the unfolded ones. Then this unfolded proteins are introduced into gel electrophoresis techniques. Here you can see in this gel electrophoresis process there is two different sections, that is cathode and anode sections, where negatively charged protein structures are attacked. Here you can see in this minus structures and plus structures is here, and the different types of proteins, structurally different proteins mainly, are separated by these methods. That means the smaller structures one attacked into the positive section, as because we know the protein sequence, that is DNA, is negatively charged. That's why they have attractions towards the positive, or you can say the structures which have or bigger structures proteins are stuck before the small structures of proteins, as because they cannot permeate or then they cannot attack through the plus sign or plus end. By this gel electrophoresis or electrophoresis techniques, we can separate the structures of the protein or structural proteins, which are the smaller one which get stuck in towards the positive end, which are structurally big, those are stuck before this, that means towards the minus end. Clear? Then in the third steps we have to transfer this into a membrane which is made up of nitrocellulose or it may be PVDF membrane. After introducing the protein into the membrane, we have to block the open space of the membranes. That means next steps is then the membrane goes through a blocking treatments with the help of dry milk or BSA. Dry milk or BSA is a blocking proteins. BSA stands for bovine serum albumin. These are non-reactive proteins which can bind the open space of the membranes. That means those spaces which are opened after binding the specific types of protein or sample protein into the membrane, by which we can prevent the non-specific reaction. That means the reactions which are not involving with the antigen or sample proteins. Next steps is incubations. Then the membrane is incubated with primary antibody specific for interested proteins or sample proteins. Then we can introduce a primary antibody which is specific for this antigens or sample protein. Next steps is washing. After using this primary antibody react with the specific antigens, and those antibody which are not react with the antigens or proteins, those unfolded proteins are washed out by this technique of washing. Next steps, that is further incubation. In the further incubation technique, incubated with secondary antibody which are ties with the primary antibodies. We used the secondary types of antibody or secondary antibody which are specific for the primary antibodies. That means those secondary antibody react with the primary antibodies. These secondary antibodies are linked with a specific enzymes or receptors enzymes. Those secondary antibody which is used for further incubations are specified with enzymes or receptors enzyme, right? Then what happened? The enzyme substrate reactions. We need to introduce some chromogenic substance or chemiluminescent substance is added which are attached with the antibody. That means the secondary antibody which can attach with the secondary antibody. Then the detections. It produces a precipitations on the membrane resulting the colorimetric changes notifiable to the eye. It means by reacting with the secondary antibody, they form a colored substance or precipitated substance which is in color in nature, are notifiable to the eye. Most sensitive detections methods are used. It is for the chemiluminescent substance that produce light as a byproduct for the reactions with the help of enzyme linked antibody. Alternatively, we can use the fluorescently tagged antibodies can be used which require the detections using an instrument capable of capturing the fluorescent signals. That means we can use separate substance for detections of the specific antibody. We can use the chromogenic substance and chemiluminescent substance, or we can use the fluorescent tagged antibody for detecting the specific types of antigen. And that's all for Western blotting. By these techniques, we can identify specific types of antigens which is responsible for specific types of disease. Hope you can understand this process. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe for more updates.